Alright, this morning we're going to do a FedEx shipment. We're going to do an international shipment, which is essentially the same as domestic, except for you don't have to do a commercial invoice. And I'll also show you how to do it with the customer's account versus our account. So first thing you need to do, get to fedex.com and hit the sign up or log in button. It should autofill your information. If it doesn't, you can find that in ShopWorks under Vendors, FedEx. That will have the login information. You can save it from there. Once you're logged in, it'll say Carlos. Go to Shipping, Create New Shipment. Alright, the from information is already automatically filled out for us. The only reason we would ever need to change this is if we move buildings. So we're going to go right to the to. We are going to send to an address I randomly found in Estonia, and to a fake person. But we're going to spell that fake person's name right. Company name, as you see, is optional. And let's see, Estonia. So let's see, the route or the address I found. Oh, I didn't like that city, huh? Okay, and I don't actually know any phone numbers in Estonia, so... But it seems alright with that. Alright. And I found this on Google Maps. This is a house. And it's important to click that if this is going to a residential address. You'll need to check the address on Google Maps to see if it's residential or not. The charging or the pricing is different based on whether or not it's going to a residential address. If this is someone we're going to be shipping to all the time, you could save it as a new recipient in the address book. We rarely ship to the same people over and over again, but you know, it's an option if you're there. Delivery options, we're going to almost always ship to the recipient's address. It's going to be very rare we would ship to a FedEx location. Or at least in a year and a half, I never have. I've always sent it to the person's address. So shipment notifications. With FedEx, it seems you can only do one. So I tend to put in the customer's address there, and then I can just email our salesperson the tracking number myself. So here we go. Hit continue. Packaging details. We're not going to purchase a higher limit of liability. This is just like if the shipment gets lost, do we want them to insure it for more? Generally not. There will be instructions if you do. So anyhow, this is kind of weird. It's gonna make us do it. It's kind of backwards. There we go. Packaging. So you're gonna select, if it's not a FedEx box, like one of their pre-made boxes that you picked up from a FedEx store, it's gonna be your packaging. And so we can just put in some measurements here. We'll say this is what we're sending. If you need to add another package, you can. This indicates the number of packages that are the same dimensions. So let's say we had 4 packages that all were exactly this dimension. We could say, hey, there's 4 of those, and by the way, there's one of something else. It's a different size. In this case, we're going to just ship one, so we'll get rid of that. Go ahead, hit continue. So this is if you're shipping documents. We generally don't. We're usually shipping items. So in this case, you will need to know what you're shipping and why. A lot of our international shipments are gifts. They're, an example would be Calix or Myram sending one embroidered jacket to an employee that lives overseas somewhere. But sometimes it is a commercial thing. They're selling them when they get to the other side, but it's often a gift. If you're unsure, check with the salesperson. Woo! This is going to be an expensive shipment. So, looks like our cheapest option on this particular one is $975. And your options for pickup are here. You could drop off a package at a FedEx location, use an already scheduled pickup at my location. We don't have scheduled pickups, or schedule a pickup. Realistically, don't schedule a pickup. They won't show up until the next day. It's a 24-hour response. FedEx trucks come by at least 6 times a day, so you can usually flag one down. You can put a sign out, and typically the first driver that comes by will see it and pick up your package. There's also what I call the 3 o'clock truck that shows up in front of Amazetta, which is Suite D in our building, and it's usually there between 3 and 3:10 and stays for about 20 minutes or so. You can just walk the package over to them. You can literally give any FedEx package to any FedEx driver. They don't mind whatsoever. You could leave it as this option, or you could, if you've missed all the trucks for the day and it needs to go out, you could drive it to a FedEx location. Whichever one you pick, it doesn't matter. We just don't need to schedule a pickup. Alright, so this is something for customs. You don't have to do this for domestic shipments going within the United States. Anything leaving the United States, you need to tell them what you're shipping. So we're going to describe let's see, North Face. We're not supposed to ship North Face out of the country. Let's find another brand of product that we will ship out. Oh, it's still searching for North Face. Let's just get rid of that. We're going to ship this Port Authority jacket. So you can partially just copy this. We don't need that. And you want to be pretty descriptive here. So in this case, it's a men's Port Authority jacket. And it's often not a bad idea to include what it's made out of. So in this case, it's 100% polyester. Not every country requires this. Some absolutely do. So it's just good policy to put it in there. If you know the harmonized tax code, definitely put it in. It makes the shipment go faster. If you don't know the harmonized tax code, don't worry about it. FedEx does have people that will figure that out. Harmonized tax codes are very complex. They change. Each item has a different code based on what country it's coming from and then what country it's going to. It's how countries track taxes against each other. Anyhow, we do know the harmonized tax codes for some of the things we sell, but not everything. And the best way to find it, honestly, is to call the manufacturer. The next thing we need to know is where this garment was made. you can't always find this on the website. It's usually always best to just find it inside the garment itself. I'm just going to say for the purposes of this demonstration that it was made in Bolivia, let's say. I don't know where it was really made. You'd have to look at the thing. Anyhow, we're going to say we're sending one jacket, and unit, you can see it's just asking like how is this item measured or sold. This is sold by the piece. People sell individual jackets. They don't say sell board feet of jackets. So, one piece. And then they know, well, what thinks of our box is huge, that's right. So let's say we're sending 20 of these jackets. And they weigh, let's call it a half pound each. And then the customs value is going to be our cost. So in this case, it's a $40 jacket. You could put in the 39.98 or just put in 40. So if we're shipping more than one sort of thing, we would add another item, and we would keep going down until we had listed every item and the quantity of every item. For purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to say we're shipping this 20 of this one particular jacket. So we're going to hit continue. And now this is important. I will create my own invoice. No, 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 no. I want FedEx to help me create a commercial invoice. And yes, I want to send my invoice electronically. We don't want to do this ourselves. Their program will help us do it. This is, we're just going to do it this way. It's much, much easier. So, I mean, we could add our own letterhead if we wanted to. We don't bother. We could add a signature. We don't need to. Again, terms of sale, an additional invoice, like, we're all good. Oh. Signature is required. Well, let's see if I have something it will accept as a signature. Alright, well, you know, don't try to ship a image of a pen as a signature, but let us keep going with the demonstration at least. So, billing. This is where you can change things up. Generally, we ship on our own account. FedEx charges us, and then we charge the customer with a slight markup. Occasionally, customers will ask us to use their shipping information. Myram is a customer that very commonly does that. They have us use their FedEx account. So, recipient and third party just mean using someone else's account, not ours. Recipient is if this shipment is going to where the FedEx account's home is. So in the case of, say, Myram, their headquarters is in Spokane, Washington. If we were sending this package to their headquarters in Spokane, Washington, we would choose recipient because the address would match the FedEx account. But let's say we're shipping this on behalf of Myram to someone else in, you know, say Estonia. We're going to choose third party. And the salesperson should have provided you the account number of the third party person. I don't have a third party account number off the top of my head, so I'm just going to change it back to my account. However, that is how you would change that. Reference, I usually put in our order number here, and this will show up on the tag, so if the customer calls back and says, hey, I have a problem with 32162, the salesperson immediately knows what to look for. You can also opt to pay duties, taxes, and fees separately. This is not a good idea. This should be the same as whoever is doing the shipping. So, for instance, if we're paying for the shipping, we should be paying for the duties and taxes. If a third party is paying for the shipping, the third party should be paying the duties and taxes. So just make sure this is the same as whoever is doing the shipping. Tax ID, pardon me. Tax ID, these are both optional, you can see. So we're going to click continue. And now this is the very last spot. Very last thing, you would want to check out all of your details up above, make sure you've got everything correct, and then decide if you're going to print this on the laser/inkjet printer, the Brother printer, or on the thermal printer, the Zebra. If it's going domestic, go ahead and print it on the Zebra. That's absolutely fine. If it's going international, print it on the Brother, because it's going to have a copy of the commercial invoice pop up, which is a full page document. You'll want to fold that and put it inside one of the clear plastic envelopes that we use to ship internationally. So print it on the full-size printer. If you print it on the thermal printer, nobody will be able to read it, and it will be a complete waste of paperwork. So that's pretty much it for FedEx shipping. If you have problems, you can see there is an Ask FedEx down here. But it is pretty straightforward. I'm now going to hit clear all so I don't accidentally bill us a $900 shipment we're not sending. But that's it. That's how to ship on FedEx.